Welcome everyone to the 103rd Celebrity Synastry chart reading, where I will be looking into Demi Lovato and Jutes. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Adeline and it is so nice to meet you. On this channel, I look at the dynamic between two celebrities using astrology. For those new and returning, I take notes on a synastry chart looking at the personal planets, signs, aspects, and if birth times, available house overlays. I share these notes and add my extra insights and interpretations along the way. So if that sounds good to you, subscribe and click the bell to join us weekly, and let's get right into this one. Starting off with the sun, we have Demi's sun in Leo and Jute's sun in Aries. These are both fire signs. It's a harmonious relationship and they both are independent. Conflict can turn volatile and both want to be the dominant one. Conflict approaches to socializing. Jute's sun overlaid in Demi's 8th house. There's a strong bond and there's emotional dependence. So potentially in other ways they are independent, but maybe emotionally they are less so independent, more dependent on each other. But again, very early on in the reading. Jutes is captivated by Demi and Jutes may feel he cannot leave. Demi has the ability to transform Jutes and they both feel initially afraid of this relationship. Demi may have come into Jute's life when he is at the bottom and both weirdly enjoy the darkness and depth of the relationship. Demi's sun are Trine Jute's Mercury. There's a great friendship and there's good communication. I wonder potentially, because we did see that they both feel initially afraid of this relationship, like maybe they were friends first. And also considering they have conflicting approaches to socializing, you know, maybe they were in the same friendship group, but I don't know, they had a different approach to something, like different maybe role in the friendship group, whatever that may have been. And that is why maybe they felt initially afraid, like they didn't feel they would be compatible or something like that. Early guesses. Demi accepts Jutes and they both just get each other. They do business together well and Demi supports Jutes' beliefs. They can talk through issues together and Demi gets what makes Jutes tick. Demi admires Jutes' intelligence and they understand each other on a basic level, which we did see right at the beginning that they have that harmonious relationship. They speak to each other with understanding and Demi allows Jutes to express himself. So she seems to nurture him from the sounds of it, because we did also see that she has the ability to transform him. So potentially that is more coming from a place of she wants him to improve himself rather than completely change. Demi feels she can think better around Jutes. Demi's sun, Sextile Jutes Mars. They motivate each other and they give each other space and they have different hobbies. So I assume those two would relate to how they both keep their independence here. Demi admires Jutes' drive and they can further the other's goals. They both give the other confidence and they participate in activities together. They are straightforward with each other and neither feels blocked. They tend to get annoyed with each other. The only, I guess more negative things we did see is how the conflict can turn a bit volatile and the whole different approaches to socializing. Other than that, we haven't really seen anything else that would insinuate they get annoyed with each other. Jute's sun, Trine Demi's Mercury, so this is a repeated aspect, just inverted. So everything from before is further emphasized, but also Jutes accepts Demi and Jutes supports Demi's beliefs. Jutes gets what makes Demi tick and Jutes admires Demi's intelligence. Jutes allows Demi to express herself. So I feel like a lot of this is going back to how we did see that Jutes is quite captivated by Demi. Jutes feels he can think better around Demi, which I think is nice considering that we did see, it seems like there is an element of Demi nurturing Jutes and being able to really help him out. So that would be helpful if he's able to sort of think a bit clearer. So that kind of allows Demi to, help him. Jute's sun, square Demi's Uranus. It's not predictable or stable and separation occurs and causes strain. Demi feels trapped by Jutes over time and Jutes initially finds Demi attractive and appealing. I'm not obsessed with seeing this because we did see he seems to feel captivated by her. Relationship can start and end suddenly and they cannot rely on each other in the long term. Jutes grows tired of Demi's inconsistency. I mean, so far, I don't know what this could be because it seems mostly on Demi's end, we have seen she seems to be very, I guess, consistent with trying to help Jutes. But, hopefully we will see more. It is just the beginning maybe where this inconsistency is. Demi changes and challenges Jute's life. Interesting. So I wonder if it is in a different area she's inconsistent, because this seems to be fairly consistent so far for Demi. So now it's time for moon. We have Demi's moon in Taurus and Jute's moon in Virgo. These are both earth signs. They both find security in nature, and Demi's stability comforts Jute. So again, she seems to be quite stable here. Demi helps Jutes be at more ease, and Demi finds it difficult to please Jutes. Maybe this is where inconsistency comes from Demi's end, maybe. In terms of if she's finding it difficult to please and I guess help Jutes, she would potentially maybe take breaks from that, or like give up on doing that for some time but then return to it. Demi's relaxed nature may annoy Jutes. Okay, but we did see they tend to get annoyed with each other, so we're seeing it on Jute's end now. Jute's moon overlaid in Demi's second house. Jutes values Demi as a source of emotional satisfaction, which we did see that there is emotional dependence. Maybe that is what the transformation is, and where Demi is really helping Jutes. It's more in an emotional way. Demi may feel unsure about Jutes, and they both see each other as valuable, which we did see a bit earlier on, that they both can further the other's goals, so that's there. Demi may become possessive of Jutes, and it's a practical relationship. Both their moon signs are trine together, so there's a desire to nurture each other. Definitely on Demi's end, it seems like. They're sensitive to each other's needs, and it's long-term or marriage. So I wonder if this is a more long-term relationship. It is just a bit more on the unstable side, because we did see earlier a bit more, I guess you could say, deteriorating factors. It did say cannot rely on each other in the long term. So who knows? We'll see a bit more. They share similar tastes, and they both feel comfortable together. They enjoy creating a home together. So, this is a bit more of a sort of serious factor. I believe they are engaged. So I don't know if they've gotten married yet, or I guess moved in together is the better one for this. But that is, they're creating a home together. They feel safe together, and family plays an important part in their relationship, which I imagine it would. As far as I know, I don't really know a whole lot about Jutes, but as far as I know, Demi is not estranged from her family. Some celebrities are quite public with their estrangement with their family, difficult relationship. I don't think that's Demi's one of those. So let me know if you're a fan in the comments below if you know a bit more about that. But as far as I know, she's not completely estranged. But yeah, that is their family playing a part in the relationship. Possibility of being too accommodating to each other, and there's a tendency to avoid hurting each other. Demi's moon conjunct Jute's Venus. It's mutually supportive, and they're a socially popular couple, which we did see in the beginning, that they're a social couple, they have friendships together, and conflicting approaches to socializing as well, which I wonder if that could be potentially when it comes to the fame aspect of things. That's sort of it, particularly with Jutes, going out with Demi, who is a bit more successful than him and all of that. So I wonder if they've conflicting approaches to maybe how they approach that as a couple, being in the spotlight and all of that. I think you could also see this, if they were sort of in the same friendship circles, and they were socially popular couple, you could kind of read this as maybe their friends kind of shipped them together, or thought they should have gotten together or something like that. So different possibilities. Hopefully we'll see a bit more. They have a lot in common, and they love each other even when the relationship is strained. So I wonder if it is just more difficult long term. It's not necessarily something that will end. It is just a bit more troublesome long term, They thrive on each other's energy, and they're a social and business couple. Demi is supportive of Jute's creative interests. So again, that whole her supporting him and everything. It's a caring and loving bond, and social activities are important to share together. I think we did see that they tend to share activities together, so that's there. Demi's moon trine Jutes Uranus. They both feel free to express themselves, and Jutes is more open around Demi. I think we did see that they both feel quite comfortable, and they're both quite accepting of the other, so that's there. Ideas of unconventional domestic setup bring them together, so maybe that is where they have the whole, family playing a part in the relationship. Maybe their own sort of family lifestyles, would have a part in maybe how they bond together, how they relate to one another. They can cope with sudden changes together, and there is a level of unpredictability. So I feel like this would just be, with what we're seeing so far, I shouldn't speak too quickly, I guess. But with what we are seeing so far, it does seem to be a bit more long-term, just, that sort of unpredictability. It's not going to be a smooth ride. Jutes feel safe around Demi and they enjoy talking about social issues. Mutual friends may bring them together. So I imagine potentially they did have like similar social circles or like friends set them up or something. Demi's moon at Trine Jutes Neptune. Demi picks up on Jutes' needs and they inspire the other. Art is a shared interest and they sense each other's feelings. They share a sensitive and mystical worldview, which we did literally just say they enjoy talking about social issues. So potentially they have similar worldviews when it comes to social issues. There is a mystical meeting and both uncover the other's blind spots. Demi's moon opposite Jutes Pluto. Jealousy and emotional manipulation is an underlying element. I don't like this. Jutes can sense Demi's unconscious needs and uses it to manipulate her. Ew. Jutes has a controlling power over Demi. Like, I didn't think this would be Demi, but I feel like, I guess, like, if, you told me this sort of thing was coming in, I feel like it would have been more on Demi's end, because it seems like in terms of, I guess, like, helping Jutes, she would have a bit more control in that way, since she kind of has, like, the sort of power to transform him and all of that. She's the one that's helping him. But, this is ending up the way it is. Demi's need for safety and belonging leads her to being taken advantage of by Jutes. Yeah, I don't like this. I think especially considering that we did see that they like both further the other's goals, and something about they both see each other as valuable. I know we saw that as like both mutual. But I guess with this, it seems like, I guess it will be a bit more on Jutes' end, and like considering the facts that Demi is a lot more, famous than Jutes and a lot more successful. Both need to learn that love and control are separate and they will need to work through power struggles. Projecting is an issue and it's unstable and explosive. So we're seeing again the unstable factor again. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised the explosive thing. We did see like right in the beginning that conflict can tend to turn volatile. So I feel like it's a bit more of a rocky relationship, I would say. Now for the intermission, this video is brought to you by me, my Etsy store, Adeline the Astrologer. If you ever watch this and think, hey, I would like her to read my Synastry chart, well, I will. I do personalized Synastry chart readings on my Etsy store. I do both basic and detailed ones. The basic ones are a bit more simple to understand and really good for those just beginning out in astrology, getting their heads around it, or just as a fun gift idea. The detailed readings are very similar to what I do here, so it's a lot of it just with my insights and interpretation on the chart. So if you're interested in that and everything else, astrology and tarot, readings and gifts, definitely check out my Etsy store for that. I'm always releasing new other things there as well. And you can even just favorite the store just to support me for free. Thank you for listening, and let's get back to the reading. Jutes' moon conjunct Demi's Venus, so this is a repeated aspect, just inverted. So Jutes is supportive of Demi's creative interests, which would be helpful because, she's the one with like, I don't want to say legitimate creative interests. That sounds so mean to Jutes. Like, I'm sure he's doing fine. I hope he is. But I guess like it's good to see that he would be supportive of like her career as well, not like expecting her to settle down for him or anything like that. Jutes' moon is square Demi's Mars. It's a stormy relationship. I think that's one way to put it, definitely. They both will need to work out issues as they come, and it's difficult relationship emotionally if there are children. Demi doesn't have the patience to connect with Jutes' feelings. This is interesting considering we did see emotional dependence, and we have been seeing that Demi is quite, I guess, like helpful to Jutes. It's an emotional roller coaster and they're very reactive to each other. Possibility for codependency. There is a bit of an element. I'm honestly a bit not confused. Like, I guess, maybe confused is the right word. But I guess stuck on where this codependency would be and where Demi's help would be. If we are seeing that she doesn't really have the patience to connect with his feelings, I doubt that her help would be in that emotional sense. But also the codependency thing, we did see that in the beginning, that there is that emotional dependence. So I would like to see a bit more maybe emotionally, because I'm a bit, perplexed now. It's hard to relax together and resentment can grow. Demi's independence makes Jutes feel insecure. See, I don't like seeing this, and literally we just saw that Jutes is supportive of Demi's, creative interests and all of that. So, and also, I guess you have to assume that, Jutes is the one that is a bit more codependent on Demi. I'm literally, because of these, what we're just seeing now, but also we have literally been seeing, it seems like Demi is the one that is allowing or creating a space for Jutes to be dependent on her, if that makes sense. Resentment can grow, which we have been seeing that they seem to have a tendency to get annoyed with each other and all of that. Jutes' moon conjunct Demi's Jupiter. It is easy to overdo and be excessive, and it's a relationship of opportunities and fortune. Again, a sort of mutual element of them, be benefiting from this relationship. Like, it's a relationship of fortune. They both see each other as valuable. They both can grow from this relationship. They have a positive influence as a couple, and they need to learn balance. They take risks as a couple, and they support people in need. I wonder if this is related to do with their sort of their social issues they seem to share. Jutes feels luckier and more adventurous around Demi, and Demi expands Jutes' way of thinking about life. So potentially Demi's help is a bit more, because I think we also did see she supports Jutes' creative interests. So I wonder if her help is a bit more to do with Jutes as an overall person, if that makes sense, supporting him creatively and moving forward in life, rather than in a more sort of emotional sense. Jutes' moon trine Demi's Uranus, so this is a repeated aspect, just inverted, so everything from before is further emphasized, but also Demi is more open around Jutes, and Demi feels safe around Jutes. Not my favorite thing to say. I mean, yes, I like it, but I don't like it considering we did see that this, Demi feeling safe can lead to being taken advantage of by Jutes. That's not fun. Jutes' moon trine Demi's Neptune. This is another repeated aspect, just inverted. So everything from before is further emphasized, but also Jutes picks up on Demi's needs. This is interesting because it seems I guess I can see why this is a stormy, unpredictable relationship, because we are seeing there's more negative elements. We've been reading them together. But there are also these sort of really nice, I think, more mutual, shared affection, if that makes sense. They both seem to have really good things that they share and reciprocate with each other, which I think is why it helps them to stay long term. But it, obviously it's that sort of unpredictable long term because they have those other, more negative elements. But I just wanted to point that out. They do seem to have good mutual reciprocating things they share. Jutes' moon is sextile Demi's Pluto. The relationship feels faded and both of their irrational sides come out. Relationship presents opportunities for both to heal from the past, which I think we did say that they both help uncover the other's blind spots. It's an intense meeting and there's a strong bond, which we did see there's an intense mystical meeting before as well. So, which I was thinking maybe they met through friends or something like that, but maybe there was an element of I guess fate when they look back. They're involved in organizations together, so I assume this will be relating to their social views together and also how they support people in need. So now it's time for Mercury. We have Demi's Mercury in Leo and Jutes' Mercury in Aries. They are both very expressive and conflict can come from their selfishness. Interesting. It's an energetic and enthusiastic relationship. I mean, definitely energetic. A lot of energy here. They both can get defensive easily. Not great considering they seem to be a bit more reactive to each other. I guess that's how you could see it, their conflict coming from their selfishness. In the moment, they are both quite defensive and it kind of is a form of selfishness if you want to get really deep into it. So I feel if they do have that conflict and their initial reaction is to get defensive, that is where the conflict can, rise. It's not a very practical relationship. I mean, it doesn't seem to be super practical. Outside of Demi helping Jutes, it seems in a more practical sense, more character development sense. there hasn't been a whole lot like this is like about money and business. I feel like some other readings, it's constant like, money, 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 business, business, business. But with this one, yes, we have seen like potentially like they're both, able to grow from this and, see each other as valuable. But overall, I can see why this wouldn't really tend to be a practical relationship, if that makes sense. Jutes Mercury overlaid in Demi's 9th house. Travel, culture, and philosophy are common topics of conversation. Demi is impressed with Jutes' knowledge. I think we did see a bit earlier on again, so that's nice. Jutes gives Demi a greater perspective on life, so it's nice that he seems to be doing a little bit for Demi as well. Demi's Mercury squared Jutes' Venus. They find each other interesting and attractive, and they have frequent disagreements. They don't understand each other's romantic ideas, and mundane communication is difficult. I wonder, maybe this is me reading a bit too into it. So I would appreciate your thoughts as well. If you have any, share in the comments below. But potentially because we have been seeing that the communication, it's not horrific, I guess you could say, but it seems like they have the tendency to easily like butt heads and start arguing. That seems to be the general communication. Like it seems, I feel like initially it can be good. Like it doesn't seem like it's absolutely horrific communication while they're together, but it does seem like they have the tendency to argue and get into conflict easily. And we did see that they both, like their families play a part in the relationship and all of that. I wonder if this is, they both come from families that, I don't know, are very loud, are very argumentative. And maybe that is why like boring, mundane communication is just difficult for them, because they probably don't know how to communicate otherwise, if that makes sense. Exchanging ideas is a source of conflict, and they need to learn to listen to each other. There's a difference in music taste. I think Jutes is some kind of musician. I wonder if like maybe they have different genres. I'm not sure if Demi, like, does she sing and make music anymore? Like, I know she used to. I don't know if she has anything out like super recently, so potentially like they do literally have difference in music taste, but maybe like literally different music styles as well for what they do. Jutes Mercury conjunct Demi's Jupiter. Jutes introduces Demi to lucky connections. That's nice. That this seems to be a bit more mutual now. It's a relationship of learning, and Jutes encourages Demi to expand her horizons. Traveling strengthens the relationship, which we did just see that like travel is a part of conversation. Demi helps Jutes be practical, and there is a strong intellectual bond. Jutes feels his thinking is valued by Demi, which I think we did literally see that like Demi enjoys like Jutes thinking or something like that. And it's a favorable business partnership. Demi's Mercury opposite Jutes Saturn. Demi needs to be patient with Jutes, and natural communication is difficult. Yeah, I wonder if there literally is some issue like they don't know how to communicate otherwise, especially because like they are quite fiery and energetic people. It seems like as individuals, you bring them together, you're going to get a bigger fire, if that makes sense. Deep respect for the other's intelligence, and it's strong and long lasting. I wouldn't be shocked if this was like a very long-term relationship. It seems like there's a lot of glue to them. Yes, it seems a bit more stormy and fiery, but it seems to be like a lot of glue here as well, Demi may feel intimidated by Jutes' practicality. Interesting. Demi might feel like a child around Jutes. This is interesting because I think we did see this sprinkled throughout the reading already, where Demi is a bit more like, I guess, has inferiority to Jutes as well. But I don't really know where that would be. We did see that he introduces her to lucky connections. So I wonder if he literally is from a different area in music maybe, or something else where Demi doesn't have a lot of like connection to. Both partners subconsciously enjoy their conflict, which I think we did see right in the beginning, something like that. They both enjoy, like weirdly enjoy the darkness and depth in the relationship. So it seems like they're enjoying whatever weird storminess they have. So now it's time for Venus. We have Demi's Venus in Virgo and Jutes' Venus in Taurus. These are both earth signs. They are both willing to work for this relationship, and it's a safe and secure relationship. I think it's safe in terms of longevity, and it seems like they're going to stick together. Like, it doesn't seem to be particularly like, a lot of deteriorating. We did see a few, but it seems to be overridden by a lot of like, it's just turbulent rather than like it's going to end eventually. But also this kind of worries me, like particularly on Demi's end, if she feels quite safe and secure and Jutes takes advantage of that, that's not great. Jutes is not as flexible as Demi, and Demi makes Jutes feel safe. I wonder if they're not flexible as Demi. Maybe like this is in regards to sort of how he isn't obsessed with her career and her independence. Jutes Venus overlaid in Demi's 9th house. They have shared interests and they may share the same social circles we're seeing again. They get along well together and Jutes has a friendly approach to Demi. So I feel like they were initially friends of some kind. Demi is accepting of Jutes and Jutes teaches Demi how to have fun, and Demi sees Jutes as someone she has a future with. Their Venus signs are trine together, so they enjoy each other's company and they share a mutual community. I feel like a record player, they're a social couple, blah, blah, blah. I've said it all before. Appreciate how the other dresses, handles money and socializes, and they both have a desire to make the other happy. Demi's Venus trine Jutes Uranus. The relationship seems odd to outsiders. I mean, I don't really know the public, what they think about them, but that is there. They enjoy experimenting together and they share unusual interests. It's an unconventional setup. I wonder, there seems to be like a mystical, intense element to this, so maybe it really felt like fate for both of them or something like that. It's not long term, potentially, because we have been seeing a mixed bag, I think, in terms of if it's long term or not. We did see one note of separation occurs and causes strain. I would be surprised. I mean, but I can't really deny the notes, can I? If it says separation occurs and all of that, and it seems like there is a bit of I guess, mixed bag of if it's long term or not. There could be an element where they take breaks, potentially. Demi is drawn to Jutes' unique qualities, and there is an element of fate, meaning probably. Jutes finds Demi charming and attractive. Demi's Venus trine Jutes Neptune. They are tolerant of each other, and Demi is willing to overlook Jutes' faults. Jutes appreciates Demi and they are attracted to each other. Similar taste in music and art, and it's loving and harmonious. Expectations are a part of the meeting. I'll be very curious to see how they make, because that's another thing where I guess seeing a bit more of a mixed bag. It seems like mostly social elements, but there's also element of fate, intense meeting, it's mystical. Expectations are part of the meeting. I wonder, going back to one of my theories, maybe they were set up in some way. Demi may expect too much of Jutes, and Jutes may be easily charmed by Demi. I mean, this has been sprinkled throughout the reading as well, how Jutes finds Demi charming. Demi's Venus sextile Jutes Pluto. They are consumed by each other, and it's unlikely to go stale and routine. That's one way to put it. Demi sees Jutes as irresistible and it's emotionally fulfilling. We haven't actually seen a whole lot when it comes to the emotions here, except there is some kind of emotional dependence. But we did also see how Demi doesn't have the I guess ability, or there's something ability or patience to connect with Jutes' feelings. So that's there, I guess. Potentially it is one of those, the lack of emotions is fulfilling for them. Both see disagreements as a way to understand the other person more. Jutes Venus square Demi's Saturn. Demi is critical and demanding of Jutes. I wonder if this is in terms of maybe she literally has expectations for him when it comes to I guess her help with him. There is kind of deadlines, you could say, goals she's giving him. Jutes eventually withholds affection from Demi. This is a thing, I think the second or third time we're seeing this, I'm not sure. We've seen this before, this idea that Jutes and his affection for Demi does deteriorate a bit, because we did see that he initially finds her charming, and now we're seeing this again. I don't know if we've seen it anywhere else from what I remember. But that is there, which isn't great. If his actual attraction to her is deteriorating, I guess, questionable. Jutes sees Demi as unsympathetic, and Demi sees Jutes as childish and undisciplined. Criticism is rooted from jealousy. Jutes Venus, Trine Demi's Uranus, so this is a repeated aspect, just inverted. So Jutes is drawn to Demi's unique qualities, and Demi finds Jutes charming and attractive. Jutes Venus, Trine Demi's Neptune, so this is another repeated aspect, just inverted. So everything from before is further emphasized, but we're also seeing that Jutes is willing to overlook Demi's faults. So there seems to be a tolerance in this relationship. Like, they seem to be able to, like, I guess, like, stick together. Maybe that's the right word, like glue together, because it seems like they both are, that we've seen like tolerance factors here. They're both willing to overlook their faults, and they kind of enjoy the conflict that they have. Demi appreciates Jutes, and Jutes may expect too much of Demi. Demi may be easily charmed by Jutes. So now it's time for Mars. We have both their Mars signs in Gemini. So it's an unstable relationship, not surprisingly so. They have cutthroat arguments. So, I mean, we have been seeing like conflict throughout the reading, so I can't be surprised. They enjoy talking to each other a lot, and they tend to nitpick each other, which I feel like this would be a bit more on Demi's end, considering she seems to really want to help Jutes. Jutes Mars overlaid in Demi's 11th house. Jutes is detached when pursuing Demi. So I wonder, like, it seems like there is a very, like, social aspect to their, like, friendship. Like, it seems like they started off as friends and, like, met through friends, shared the same social circles, which you could see that as them both being in, like, the Hollywood industry. But also potentially, like, I feel I'm leaning towards, like, they were set up together of some kind, which would be, I guess, why, like, Jutes would be detached from pursuing Demi. I feel like most of the time when someone is setting you up, most of the time you're not really hoping it is your like soulmate for life. It's kind of something you're doing for the sake of it. You're not really attached to that whole idea. Demi always feels out of Jutes' reach. I guess this would be going to like her independence. Demi is intrigued by Jutes' rebelliousness, and they both enjoy their freedom here. So that was the final overlay. I guess you could say there were no Mars aspects, but so that was the final overlay, bringing us to the end of the reading. If you are still watching, please share your thoughts below. I'd be very curious to see what you guys have to say. I feel like this was a very interesting, I think more fun reading. For some reason, I'm not hating this relationship as I feel I should be. So definitely let me know your thoughts, like if you guys interpreted this relationship any other way. If you have made it this far, please consider subscribing for more. I post these readings weekly. Besides that, give this video a like, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!